The number one skill you can develop to actually become fluent faster and actually avoid spending years of studying, memorizing. It's kind of what I call the cram to forget cycle, as in you learning all these vocabulary lists and you never apply them and then you just forget them. So, to get out of that cram to forget cycle, the number one thing is to actually develop your study routine that fits perfectly into your life, that feels light, that feels joyful, that feels like something you want to go back to every time you have a little break, something that you can play around with, and that is relevant to your life. So, in my last video that I recorded with the three principles for developing your study routine, remember it was about going really small to make it fit into your life, we all have really busy lives. I actually gave these three principles and I received a really cool comment from one of you saying, but okay, I have these three principles, but can you give examples? What do you actually do? So, this is exactly what I want to answer today. I give you a concrete example out of my own life. Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Alex. I'm a social psychologist and I give you the best hacks from social psychology and brain-friendly learning to make your goal to become fluent in the next target language, to make that easily achievable. And of course, to have you very soon speak with unshakable confidence. And today, let's give an example out of my own life. As you may know, if you have followed the channel, by the way, don't forget to subscribe if you want to get fluent fast. You know that I speak four languages. My mother tongue is German. Then I learned English over the course of 10 years. I realized something was wrong in the way in which I was learning. Then I learned French without having had it at school within 3 years. And I was like, okay, this time the experience was far quicker and better. Then I learned Spanish. And also, this was far quicker. It was only 2 years. And actually, at the moment, I'm doing the same thing with applying all the best principles from social psychology to learning Italian. And I invite you to join me on that channel, on this adventure, because it's something that I realized the way in which we study can change everything. It doesn't have to be a heavy obligation like thing that makes you go into procrastination every time. So, these three principles, I actually give you an example from yesterday. So, you know, in these principles of the everyday nano technique, actually what is the most valuable stuff is the invisible stuff. So pay attention. First principle, remember I said to you, it needs to be something from your own life, either future memories or past memories. What do I mean by that? You can only practice a language if you apply it for social communication in terms of, now, let me rephrase that. You can only memorize fast. I mean, you can practice with irrelevant sentences that don't make sense for your own life, but you will be slower. That is what I want to say. So, the first step, and that is so crucial, it's actually the invisible step. It is which sentence you pick. It's not something that you follow for me, it would be boring to follow a textbook and say, okay, today, what is the next lesson? So the textbook has selected for me XYZ. Let's study that. You know why I don't do that? Because I know I will forget it. Because this sentence, I don't want to communicate that sentence. It's not relevant to my life. It might be through a coincidence that sometimes the book suggests me things I really need the next day. But ideally, what I want to choose is, and this is really, it's the magic of all. It's kind of like what you don't see. You pick the sentence out of your life. Think about yesterday. What kind of social situation did you have yesterday? And what did you say? And now the second principle comes in. It's joy. It needs to be something that is positive. Your brain will memorize so much quicker if it is from your own life, positive, and something that you really needed. So if I haven't got anything from tomorrow, I will pick it from yesterday. So yesterday, something really nice happened for me. Uh, I did in my kind of sports routine, I did a nice bicycle ride, and I actually met my lovely neighbors when I come back. And they are really lovely people, and we chatted, and out of the situation came something really, really nice. They offered me a yogurt maker, which is something I've really loved. It's kind of, we have a give and take kind of lovely relationship between neighbors. So they offered me this yogurt maker. And in the evening, I told this to my husband, and I was like, do you know what happened? My lovely neighbors offered me a yogurt maker. It was so nice. This is incredibly nice. I couldn't believe it. So I was like, okay, let's pick that sentence. How would I have said that in Italian? So step number one is actually choosing that sentence out of your own life, past memories or future memories. Drop me a comment if you want more explanations about future memories as well. So I picked that sentence, which is, and I actually write it down. And you probably have seen, those of you who study Italian as well, that I have also online my little flashcards. I use flashcards online. I actually write down the sentence I learn and I pick for my own life. I share them with you because some of you might have the same kind of challenge in terms of the same sentences. So the sentence was, they offered me a yogurt maker that was so nice and I couldn't believe it. I write it down, I look it up, and I use various tools. I use either Google Translate, I use ChatGPT. I'm not sponsored by these applications. I look the sentence up and I let the application say it out loud so that I can repeat it. Okay, let's do that exactly so that I see if I can remember it. Mi hanno offerta una macchina per fare yogurt. Ok, non ci credo, non poteva, non potevo credere, era molto amabile. No, era molto gentile. Okay, something like that. Those of you who speak Italian already better, I'm on A1, A2 level. Please correct me as always. I mean, it's corrections and errors are the best vehicle as well. Look up my video that I did on the best things to do, the best practices. So errors, I probably just made at least 3 errors. I don't care because they will help me to learn. So I will actually later look that up and correct myself, or if one of you would have the ability to actually correct me, that would be really nice. Okay, so this sentence then I have written down, I put it on my flashcard. It can be also paper flashcard, of course. It doesn't have to be electronic. Again, the principle is it needs to bring you joy. If you like writing it down on a piece of paper, which I do as well, then writing it on a piece of paper is better as well. You need to decide. The principle is always positive and joy. It needs to be something that feels light. Anything that feels heavy, burdensome, obligationsome, no. Leave it immediately. That is not study routine. That is kind of what puts you into obligation mode, and you will just fall into procrastination. So I write it down, and for the rest of the day, that is my sentence. And I don't know if you have noticed, if you have one sentence in your head and then you move on to do something else, you will hear that sentence again. And this is how the magic works. Of course, then you need to have repetitions. You need to use a similar sentence in a similar situation. But I know if I go back to a similar situation where somebody gives me a present, I know that I will kind of pull out something like mi hanno offerta una cosa. Una cosa così, I think I would be able to say in Italian. So at least I have already laid the basis. And the next third step was going even smaller. So I will not try to simulate the whole conversation in Italian because I will then just feel bogged down, and this brain mechanism as well of feeling, oh, I still can't do it. That's the worst. You need to have something so small that you feel, yes, I can do it. So going small means having that, and that's the social psychology again, having that positive reinforcement loop in place. Whenever you feel like you can do something, you will do it again. So if you cut out the portions too big, you will go into avoiding mode because you will feel I can't do it. So this is really the smallest kind of unit or the smallest nucleus I can give you as an example. Please, especially the nice person who dropped me that comment, give me an example. Tell me if this was concrete enough or if you need a concreter example. I mean, basically, what happens is with the everyday nano method is the invisible steps of how you feed your brain stuff that is relevant to you, that brings you joy, that is out of your own life. These are the actual magic gems from social psychology. The fact that we study sentences in context to communicate, every language learning method will tell you this. But it's actually the magic is, and I think you get the twist, what you choose, how you integrate it into your own life, and how you actually self-respect this kind of mechanism of positive reinforcement. So learning happens. I mean, that has been shown in so many studies, and I have quoted them in my previous videos. Let me know if you want to actually read up some of these studies. The brain learns quicker, number one, when it's new, when it's relevant to your life, when you need it for communication, and something that is fun, positive, and that gives you that feeling. You need to have that lived experience of want to do it again. And that is what keeps me doing it, because I feel, I know quite a lot of sentences already, given the fact that I only started in 2024. So I'm now studying Italian for more or less 1 year, and I'm already on an A2. I'm between A1, A2. Of course, I will not know very complex phrases. It's normal, but it gives me a real sense of joy that in this short period of time, I'm able already to understand a lot in Italian. I'm starting to watch videos on YouTube in Italian. I can follow the conversation. I start to kind of being able to emulate very easy situations out of my own life, like I demonstrated. And all that generates one thing, the motivation to carry on. And going back to what I said in the introduction, the key is, or the main skill for your life to learn anything is to develop that easy, light, positive study routine for your own daily routine. And actually, you can apply that to anything else. You can apply that even to learning something else, something you want to learn. The minute you put the brakes on yourself by having that kind of obligation feeling, for me at least, and drop a comment if it has been the same for you, for me it will just put me into, let's avoid that, procrastination. And that's what we don't want. So thank you so much for spending the time with me today. Drop me a comment how it's going for you. Also drop me a comment which languages are you studying, because I love this community online here with all of you being polyglots in the sense of you speak at least 2 languages. I feel that from your comments. So thanks so much, and see you in the next video.